everyone. So welcome to this Git and GitHub 7 days master series. So my name is Dinesh Kumar. So I'm going to a part of this journey of these 7 days, and in this all the 7 days, we are going to understand about the world of the version controlling. How we are going to control the versioning of different project file and different modules, right? And whether you are a developer, whether you are a professional, whether you are a student, any kind of learner you are, so this master series will help you a lot. So I'm going to start this series from scratch, from basic to till advanced. So in this series you will get opportunity to learn from basic to till advanced. So for next 7 days I'm going to tell you about all the knowledge about this Git and GitHub, and all along with that hands-on experience on this GitHub skills. Okay, so how to manage the code, how to work with the team project, collaboration with the team, how we are going to work with the open source project. So we are going to teach you in this very basic, a very advanced level. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen rather than wasting much time on this part. Let me share my screen. All right. So in this series, this is the day one where we are going to learn about the Git and GitHub basic introductions about this day one series. And then if I'm talking about this agenda of this meeting, so in this agenda, so we will cover about this understanding of what is a Git and what is a GitHub. And then we will know about that why we need the version controlling. Okay, why it's important for us, why it's important for the project. And also along with that, if you are a beginner, then how to install the Git in the first time in your system. Okay, and then how to configure your Git and GitHub repositories, GitHub environment in your systems. Okay, and then in the last I will teach you about this initializing the first project, first repository, and how its structure will be created. Okay, each and every things we are going to discuss about this today sessions. So the first is question is that what is the Git? Okay, so my first question always come into the mind that what is the Git? So basically Git is the version controlling tools where we are keeping all the versions which we have done in the past. Okay, so for example, if I'm going to share my screen, so suppose that I have one project. Okay, so in the project we have a one folder called as a module one. Okay, in this module all the files are there, the different files are there. Suppose that one of the file is name as a function one. Okay, function1 dot py. Okay, this is one of the file, this is one of the files, this is one of the code files which contain all the codes for modules one. Okay, suppose that if anybody is going to edit any changes, suppose that I have done day one. Okay, and save it, it will save as an version one. Okay, so I have to mark as an version v1. Okay, again if I'm going to open that, and again I have added something in this text. Okay, then I have to save this file. Okay, save this file as an version 2. Okay, so that there are two type of versions are there. One version is having the only the this kind of changes, and second file is having the version of this kind of changes. Okay, then suppose that if I did any kind of changes in this file again. Okay, I have added the next line day 3. Okay, then I have to save this file in different version 3. So if you are thinking the structure of this file, right? So version 1, version 2, version 3, each and every versions are being created based on the changes. Okay, so if you are not using any kind of Git, any kind of version controlling tool, in that case we have to keep each and every versions of the changes, so that suppose in the later point of time we think about to go with the version 1 rather than version 2 or version 3, we have to pick this file, right? So there is no leverage to do kind of changes in the system part with the version controlling. So this kind of is actually providing by this GitHub, Git and GitHub. Okay, so GitHub basically provide us so GitHub is basically providing a functionality to and yeah, So basically it's providing a version controlling functionality where we do any kind of changes in our file, any kind of changes in our code, it will treat as a different version. Okay, so Git is basically help us to control this version controlling. So there are a lot of features are there. This is the main features. Okay, so it help us to track the changes in your code. Okay, it's also help us to collaborate with the others seamlessly. Okay, suppose that we have a 4 member of team in our project. Okay, and each and every 4 members are working parallelly. Okay, so how one file can be made a changes with all the 4 person. So that kind of collaboration is also help with the help of Git. Okay, and then suppose that if any point of time we have think that we have to go with the older version rather than the current version because current version having some issue, then we can revert with the help of Git also. So Git is actually leveraging this kind of features in our Git concept. Okay, so Git is basically each commit is saved as a different snapshot. A snapshot means different kind of version. Okay, so Git always keep all the snapshots safely. So whenever you want to go with the previous version, you can go with the help of Git. Okay, so this is overall about the Git. And what about the GitHub? So GitHub is nothing but a platform, a cloud platform which hosts this Git repository online. Okay, so it is stored in the cloud. It's also having some kind of privacy and publicity. We can share the GitHub repository with anyone in the internet, right? And collaboration with others, it's a very also help us out because it's a feature of the Git, right? And we can manage the pull request, PR request, documentation, each and everything. So it's a basically GitHub providing. Okay, so GitHub is the platform and Git is the tool. Okay, Git is the tool, and on top of that, GitHub is basically build a platform which actually using the Git technologies. Okay, so now if I'm talking about this Git and GitHub and GitLab, so there are three type of things we are actually listening in our days. What is the Git, what is the GitHub, and what is the GitLab, right? So these are the difference. So GitHub and GitLab. So Git is basically a version controlling tool, right? I discussed that. GitHub is the basically platform, cloud hosting platform which actually use the Git technologies to make it online. Okay, and GitLab is also a cloud hosting platform. Okay, second is how it's working. So Git can be work offline as well as online. Okay, it can work without the internet also, Git, but GitHub and GitLab it cannot be because it requires the internet connectivity. Okay, from which is built by the Microsoft GitHub. Okay, now talking about this, why we use this Git and GitHub. Okay, so I discussed this kind of right now with the help of example that how why we need this Git and GitHub. So Git basically uh, store the versions of any kind of project. Okay, so it's basically track all of the changes whatever happening in the code. It can track all the changes with the respect of every team members, which team members have done which kind of changes. Okay, so it also help us to restore your older version any kind of any point of time. If you think that your current version having some issue and you want to revert your changes, you can do it easily with the help of Git. Okay, so it also help us to work with the different kind of features in parallelly with the help of Git. It's having the functionality. Okay, and also it's also help us to collaborate with the different team members very easily, and you also store the project online because GitHub is basically available in the online cloud platform. Okay, so this is the important of the Git and GitHub, right? So now the question is how we are going to install this Git in our system, in our Windows. Okay, so suppose that you want to work your Git project in your system. So in that case you have to go with this. Okay, so you have to go with this URL. Okay, in this URL you find out three type of platforms are Mac, Windows, and Linux. For different type of OS operating system, we have a different uh, soft setup. So this setup you have to download and then you have to install your machine. Okay, after installing your machine, you have to choose this default options. While choosing any kind of installation, you have to choose the default option. Okay, and once you are have done this installation part, so I will tell you how to check whether your installation has been completed successfully or not. So I'm going to share. So once you hear in this part, you have to go with this more options, open the terminals. Okay, now you can check with the help of git dash test version. Once you install this git setup, you can check whether it is installed successfully or not. So here I have a previous version 2.43. Okay, so you can check with respect to of your machine by running this command. How to initialize your first git repository in your machine. Suppose if you want to initialize your git in your machine, so these are the command you can do that. So I'm going to show you how it's working. So I'm just pausing this and now, okay, in the command section also you have to go with that cd my first repo, go here. Okay, and now you have to click on git init. Init means you are going to initialize this folder as an git initialization repository. Okay, and it will create one hidden file .git. Okay, git, it means that this folder has been initialized as an git repository. This folder has been initialized as an git repository. So whatever the changes you are going to do in this folder, it will capture as an git changes, right? Now coming to this part, okay, git initialization is done, right? Now coming to this part, so suppose that if you want to add any kind of file in your git repository, so how it's working. Now in that case you have to first of all check whether file is there or not. So in that case you have to run this command git status. Okay, so there are a lot of commands are there, so you have to check what command you need to execute. Okay, so there is nothing is here, right? So I'm going to create one new file. Okay, new .txt. Okay, and in this file I'm going to write as an 1 and save it. So now I'm going to check the status again, git status. Okay, so now you can see that here in the git status, okay, all right, yeah, in the git status it is showing that there is a one new file is came here and is do not added in the git repository. Now you have to run this command because it's showing as a red. You have to run this command git add and this file name new .txt. Okay, now it has been added. If going to run this command again, status, if you see that this had been pushed to that, this has been added in the git repository. Now if final step is to commit that, and once you are going to commit these changes, it will push to your cloud machine, your remote repository. Okay, so this is all about how you're going to create your git repository and how you're going to initialize your folders. Okay, so there is a working directory which is your file is editing, right? So it's a working directory. Staging area where we have added this git add and it's going to the staging area, right? And now I want to push my changes into the remote repository. In that case you have to save the permanently with the help of commit command, and the commit command will push all the changes in your remote repository. Okay, so this is overall about the how we are going to push our changes in the git repository, right? So this is all about the command git init, means initializing your git repository. Git status will track all the files. Git list will tell you about the all the current configuration. Version will tell you what is the version, and git help will tell you what are the helps command available. You have created this git .git folders. This is the hidden folders. Now you have to explore what are the hidden files are there, because this hidden file is this hidden folder contain all the versions whatever the changes you are doing. Okay, right? And then these are the summaries which we have discussed in the day one today. Okay, everything. So these are the next topic which we are discussing. We will discuss about this in the day two sessions. And then thank you so much for watching this video. See you in the day two. Bye bye.